they do now, it's really it kind of defies description. But
it was a pseudo punk scene. So it was a pseudo punk scene around Lexington in the '90s while I was attending UK, like a revival where like instead of being the original punk, it was like a revival of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of party scene it was. Line is the hip joint. So that's you don't know what would pop up, and I'd ask me what the hell was that, and that's how I vaguely remember. Somebody goes, "Oh, you never heard of them, the Swans?"
It's not the Swans; it's just Swans.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you like Schwanz, like German for your Schwanz?
No, just swans, like in the pond. The free meat you can get, free yard birds you can get down at the pond.
Schwanz is a certain kind of meat, so I figured you'd know about it.
Like swan is a meat. Have you ever had swan before? It's delicious. It cooks down just like duck.
I'm talking about your Schwanz, right? Your grande weapon, right? In Germany, your Schwanz,
And my grande weapon, yeah, I'm not allowed to talk about that per the conditions of my parole.
Oh, okay.
Are we starting this now, or have we officially started this, or
no?
Give me a minute.
Okay, I'm going to take us off the stage.
Okay.
Smacking off the podcast.
Welcome back to Smacking Off the Podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Madden. I'm joined with Doug Phillips, my co-host and producer, and one Robert Dr. Balls Arthur. What's up, guys?
What's up?
See, we have a pickup of the new Heisman Trophy winner, Jayden Daniels.
Yeah.
It's almost like the voters, the Heisman voters, heard what I had to say on this program and decided to go ahead and spite me anyways, because that was an opinion shared by more than one person early on in the Heisman race. But with I'm not going to say lethargic showings, Penix wasn't up to his normal standard in that Oregon game. That's for sure. Still had a good game and wound up winning the game for his Washington Huskies. But both Cephas Nix looked absolutely trash, and was actually on the fast track to possibly win this thing had he had somewhat of a really good showing in that game. And no, he looked a lot like an SEC quarterback, like he was playing for Auburn again, huh?
Was Jayden Daniels the backup plan? Was Bo Nix the guy they had shoehorn in? And
I think if Bo Nix had the absolute perfect performance in that game and Oregon won that game, yeah, I think Jayden Daniels would have gotten edged out.
Now, Jayden Daniels, though, he did have video game numbers. It was kind of a pick like you would have had for David.
His rushing numbers are sick. Rushing, he's a quarterback and threw for just an ungodly amount, over 4,000 yards. But he also rushed for an additional 1,000 plus.
That's ridiculous. I mean, it's like
excuse me. Let me back that up. Jayden Daniels actually had 4,000 yards of production, over 3,000 yards passing, and over 1,000 yards rushing.
I don't remember.
Looked a lot like Kyler Murray, Cam Newton, some of the better NFL ready mobile quarterbacks we've seen come through in the past decade or so.
I don't remember him running very much on Alabama this year.
No, that didn't happen actually. But it is what it is. He's a winner. That means the LSU Tigers, they're winners again, sort of. Even though they're still the fifth. They were the fifth best team in the SEC this year, give or take.
Maybe so. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a definite. You have Alabama, you have Georgia, you have Ole Miss, you have Missouri, and then you have LSU. Right? Maybe you could argue LSU and Kentucky. Well, Kentucky finished with 8 wins?
7-5.
7-5. So yeah, that makes LSU. LSU's practically they're your number 5 in the SEC. Congratulations for whatever that's worth.
UK gets to beat up on Clemson in the bowl game.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
That's going to be sweet
if it happens. I mean, Clemson, they've looked pretty good this year against non-consequential opponents.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I think Dabo is probably going to coach this one a little bit harder because you got a lot of grumbling over there in Clemson land.
You said hard.
UK has some advantages that Clemson struggles against, and I think it's going to be a closer game than people think, even though I will concede that Clemson's more talented than Kentucky, except on the line and at the linebackers.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Good luck for him.
Fuck you, Clemson, Dane.
No. I'm pulling for Clemson, Dane, in this one.
No. I'm pulling for Bob. UK by 10.
Well, I'm always pulling for Bob, but Clemson Dane's kind of down at the moment, and I want his spirits lifted. So I'm with you, Dane.
He's been working hard, man. He deserves it.
Clemson was the 3rd best team in the ACC this year.
I think it's
right. Realistic.
Hold on now. When you say Dane's working hard, you mean working hard to defend Dabo this year?
Yes, exactly.
He really has.
Yeah.
He's put a lot of time and effort into that.
Him
and Landon have been freaking rolling all year over this shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not going to kick Dane while he's down.
Landon
not just yet.
loves Dabo. He does.
Hallelujah.
He wants him to be the new head coach for Alabama.
No,
Nick
he don't want. He
retire.
don't want that. He wants him to stay right at Clemson so he can keep driving his point home.
I knew I was missing something here.
Yeah, but wouldn't he love Hugh Freeze? I mean, Hugh Freeze is having baptisms, man. He's getting joined by Jew for Jesus.
No. Let's make sure that we sell this correctly. He's not just having baptisms; he's the one baptizing.
Yeah, he's doing the baptism.
That's usually the preacher's job. So I guess he's now in addition to being the head coach for the Auburn football team, he's also their chaplain.
Oh yeah,
is that what's going on here?
They baptized 2,000 people, man.
He needs to let his wife be the chaplain. But
was he like
I'm sure
John
he heard
Baptist?
those stories about Tommy Tuberville's wife. So
Woo!
That's what I was missing. I was missing my audience here.
All right, so I mean, there was some football this weekend. I heard Army and Navy. It was a great game. Hold on for a second. Hey Google, what was the Army Navy score?
Army West Point won 17-11 yesterday against.
Ooh, 17-11.
3-0, 17-11. It's about the same.
It's all the same, isn't it?
Really? Yeah. 11 points. 11 points in a game. That's
hold up now. Who won? Army? Because Divine's an Army fan, so we're pulling for Army.
Go Army.
And my dad was an Army guy, so
I had a brother that served in the Army.
I mean, my dad wasn't really a big Army football fan.
He was dishonorably discharged.
Goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. Really,
See, I'm an Army veteran, but I'm not an officer. See, a lot of people, they think about that game. I guess they do represent the whole Army, but those are West Point cadets, right? Those are the guys that's going to be officers. I'm an enlisted man. Now, for somebody like Divine that has attachments to the officer program and to even West
what is Divine's official rank?
He's a major.
I knew it. I don't know. There was something about that. There's something about the way that he presents himself that it was like going to be a major or above.
Oh,
he's not second. He's not second lieutenant material. He's the real deal.
He is the real deal. I think he's on the light colonel list. So we hope the best for him. We hope he gets that.
If Tommy Tuberville will let it pass. Well, I think he will now. He's not going for general. So.
Is he still? Yeah. Is he still active?
Oh yeah, he is still active. He's working. I think at the Presidio in San Francisco.
No. Don't be talking about where he's working. That's secret business.
Yeah, the Presidio, you just want to roll up in there, right? You know, where it's got like CIA and NCIS and all that. Is that thing that Phil Collins was singing about? Oh yeah, but even better though. You know what I'm saying? But it's so the security.
They have nice carpet in there, is what you're telling me.
Exactly, perfect.
Yeah,
red carpet,
beautiful tile artwork.
That's what they talk about when they say called on the carpet. So if I were in trouble as an enlisted man and he was a field grade commander, right, then I'd get called on the carpet from his desk and where they give me my field grade Article 15 prison or not. You see what I'm saying?
Still getting used to this mic stand here.
Okay, so I'm working hard. I'm working hard on getting Chris Scully to go ahead and get some headphones because the dream.
Do we need to start a GoFundMe?
I mean, I'll send him headphones if he'll give me his address. I mean, seriously, just cheap headphones will work.
Does he know his address?
It's not the quality of headphones. It's the fact that your microphone's not picking up the shit that's going on around the. I mean, you got to have headphones.
It's that government track phone he's on.
You know what?
A good phone. We need to get him a good device.
Our dream segment before this playoff game is to get him. Now, he hates Michigan, but he will defend Michigan.
I don't blame him
fervently because he's a Big Ten homer. We need to get him and Beeman on. That would be we
might got some shit to talk about.
We might be able to provoke some fucking some feelings.
So he's going to be pulling for Michigan in this championship.
Oh yeah, he's already told me Michigan is going to pound Alabama down, and Alabama will collapse by the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know. I don't know what he's watched to make himself believe that. I mean, Michigan's only 1 year removed from getting beat by TCU in the fucking playoffs.
Can you fucking believe, just for a quick second, going back to the Heisman race, can you believe for a quick second, watching that South Florida game without Jalen Milroe in it, that Jalen Milroe would finish in the top 5 in Heisman finalists?
Oh, he deserved it.
No, it never crossed my mind.
Correct.
I mean, I did think he would improve, but I didn't think he would improve.
And it wasn't improved. I thought he did a great job in the Texas game, given what the pressure that he was under, the fact that he didn't have much protection up front, which Alabama's definitely fixed that. Oh wow!
Oh yeah,
Alabama's O line is amazing. He's back there for 15 seconds checking his text and everything before he throws a pass, checking on Mama back home, making sure that thing's still good and wet when he gets done with the game. Yeah.
But then the year you had Cam Newton comparisons, I mean, that's how good the guy was. If he broke loose, man, he's just dynamic, and he's big enough to throw people down. He can stiff arm linebackers.
Over there on his phone. Love you, baby. Keep that kitty wet for daddy. XO. Oh, let me throw this pass real quick. Yeah. Thank God for our O line. Thank God for all of the adjustments that have made there, because it has made a massive difference in our offense.
4th and 30, baby, is amazing.
So I guess it depends on which Alabama team shows up. The South Florida Alabama team, which I don't think that team exists anymore this year. I think that team's done.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think Georgia would too, grudgingly.
And that's right. And Georgia's the only team in the country that has the talent level of Alabama, maybe a little better. So were they outcoached? Did Saban believe that it was time to put away all this? I'm leaving, that I'm falling off, all these rumors of Saban. I didn't see Saban falling off. I saw him respond to the team he had, make them better, troll his own fans, right? Make Milroe one of the best players and definitely the most dynamic in the whole country by the end of the year. Ain't that what Saban did?
That's exactly what he did. And the fact that Milroe showed up 5th in the Heisman finalists, somebody that was not projected to be anything ever throughout this whole entire season, and just got better and better and better. And a lot of credit needs to go to our O-line and the corrections made there. This is probably one of Nick Saban, and a lot of people have said this is probably one of Nick Saban's best coaching jobs.
Oh, absolutely. This team
ever throughout his whole career.
Yeah, this team looked like a 3-loss team when they lost to Texas.
Yeah.
And after they lost to Texas.
This team was beginning to look like in that South Florida game like the team that lost to Louisiana Monroe. Yeah.
Maybe.
A little bit.
All right, so let's practice on some commercials. Y'all want to?
Sure, why not?
Fine. Humans are noisy. They thrive on chaos. They like to make things. It gives them meaning. They do it over and over and over again until they shut down. Humans are fueled by inspiration. Inspiration and something called tacos. Change makes them nervous, but embracing it changes everything. Yeah, imagine that.
My coffee, too.
And we're back. Smacking off the podcast. Randy Macho Man Savage, RIP.
Oh, sad day.
His name is Randy Popo.
Oh, yeah. He's been my
His name is Randy Popo.
Oh, yeah. Now, he don't look that big next to Hulk Hogan, but when he's not next to Hulk Hogan, he looks massive. I mean,
Hulk was a big dude. Hulk's what was he, like 6'5" or something? And plus, he wore the boots.
He was 7'2", wasn't he? And then, but the Macho Man was 6'5" because I stood in front of him.
No. Hulk Hogan wasn't 7 foot.
No, he wasn't. But they did say that he stood nearly 7 foot when he was in Rocky III.
And he also wore them big ass boots too. Them big ass boots added a couple inches. But yeah, you put him up against Andre, which Andre was what, like 7'1" or some shit.
Yep, he's gigantic.
Yeah.
So he looked like a toy. Now, who was Randy Macho Man's brother?
Lanny, Leaping Lanny Popo.
Yeah,
Virginia.
was he a poet?
He was a poet and didn't know it. Actually,
Yeah,
he did.
he actually did know it.
He did know it, and he had some rhymes for days. He had rhymes like Biggie.
Hell yeah, that's special.
He was great. I actually got to see him when he was working as a jobber. Actually got to see him live when I was probably like 12 or 13 when they came to the BJCC here. We went with old Roman Gore, and that was our very big, the first time we ever got to go to a wrestling match. And the WWF, that was a pretty big deal. And got to see all the marquee players. But also, that's when the curtain came down. That's when we got to see the wizard behind the curtain. And we happened to we weren't ringside. We were actually sitting like one level up, so we were pretty much, it had a great view of everything going on in the ring there. And that's when we saw, I can't remember which match it was. It was one of the bigger names fighting a jobber. And of course, the jobbers were the your average random guys that would come through that were trying to work their way up in the ranks before they actually became a big character, like Leaping Lanny Popo eventually became the Genius. I can't, and again, I can't, I'm trying to think of which wrestler it was, but took a swing and missed the guy by like at least 5 or 6 inches. And didn't really hit the guy and stomped his foot. And of course the guy drops to the ground and we're like, wait a minute, he didn't hit him. And that's when we realized it was scripted entertainment, like the NFL.
Oh yeah.
Like the NFL.
True that. Yeah.
Somebody would say the officiating in the SEC this year might have been scripted.
Yeah, the officiating in the SEC was definitely worse than the officiating in the WWE. No doubt.
I agree.
Scripted. Perhaps. That's a lot of people have argued that, particularly opposing fan bases of the teams that they lost to.
Now, if they brought Gordon Sully
a lot of Georgia fans hollering about collusion.
So they should bring out Georgia. They should bring out Gordon Sully to officiate the game, since he's associated with Georgia. Georgia has problems, and he knows what bullshit when he talks about it.
Where's old Miles at? Remember Miles, the bald-headed referee for boxing for many years. Nils Lane.
Yeah, he had a stroke. Is he still alive?
Oh, if he had a stroke, probably not. He probably wouldn't be a good ref. But then again, I don't see how he could do any worse than the SEC officiating this year.
Let me look him up.
We got what he the ref in Fight Night 98 on PlayStation?
Probably so. Yeah, he was. If you remember, he was in a lot of your bigger marquee Tyson matches. Was the ref in a lot of those matches?
I saw a documentary about him, and didn't he learn Shaolin Do Kung Fu and stuff like that?
Probably. You'd have to be if you're going to be in the ring with Mike Tyson.
Are we still talking about Mills Lane?
Yeah.
Okay, he died December 6th last year.
No shit.
In Reno, Nevada.
Was it the COVID?
They don't say.
That's right. If it doesn't say, it probably was the COVID. They try to keep that under wraps these days.
Hallelujah.
I'm drinking my Not Bones coffee.
Not Bones coffee.
It's going to be so weird. It's going to be so weird not being sponsored by Bones anymore.
We're going to hook up. We're hooking up with them at some point. We're not going to get paid in cash.
You're just doing that to see that girl.
We're getting paid in sex.
Okay. You're getting paid in sex. I haven't seen labia one since this deal's been inked.
Damn it, Jim.
So
you're making me jealous, Bob. I wish I could smoke right now. I can't smoke in this room.
This was a hell of a time for us to go out on our own this weekend because there's nothing to talk about except Jayden Daniels, and nobody gives a fuck about Jayden Daniels.
Well, and I think it's important for the few people that are listening that are wondering, well, I thought you guys were on College Football Talks. What happened with that? And we went into a contract negotiation, and apparently we asked for too much money.
We got fired.
Yeah, so we got fired.
They told us hit the fucking road, clean out our desks,
Yeah. But no, it was a to be fair, it was a very egregious separation. We're still going to have all of the cast of characters on the show. Eventually, Tim Bailey will be back on. Would love to get Hunter on. Old Auburn fan.
But we don't have the rights to the names anymore, so they'll all be called something else now. But you'll know the characters as soon as you listen, right?
Yeah.
The names have been changed.
But Larry's son Redding. That's not real. Son. Where does son come from? Larry Redding, I get it, but I guess I don't know. Is that an anagram for something?
Oh, we got a comment. Somebody said, "Oh, Alex Bryan, look at these sexy fuckers."
Woo!
Yeah. I love you, Alex.
Fuck you, Alex.
No, I'm not. No, Alex is hurting right now. His Ohio State Buckeyes did not make the playoffs again.
Good.
And my heart bleeds for him just like it bleeds for Clemson Dane tonight.
One question, Alex.
I'm gonna pour one out for you, fellas.
And Alex, you have to answer this in the comments. Will Ryan Day survive another loss to Michigan next year? I'm waiting now. Let's see.
Yeah, you're just stirring up some shit because you know how he feels about that.
His answer to that was "fuck you guys."
Yeah, he is tired of Harbaugh getting the best of his coach. But the good thing is that he won't have the signs next year, so you guys may have a chance.
Okay, so Alex, we're in negotiations. We've been talking with Landon, and Landon's buying refs as we speak, and the Michigan win is in the bags. It's in the fucking bag.
Landon's got that chemical money.
Ryan Day gets absolutely fired, losing again next year. I mean,
there's no way. If that's the only game he loses in the season, there's no way.
No, this is Ohio State. They don't tolerate that shit.
No,
they don't.
Who else are you going to get though? Hugh Freeze.
It don't matter.
Ohio
It don't
State.
matter who you get.
Now.
You just go ahead and promote somebody up because
Lane Kiffin to Ohio State.
At some point you have to say, you know what? Let's just give anybody a shot because Ohio State
is Lane fixed? Does Lane have his? Did he get a vasectomy?
Fixed?
Yeah. Because you could be populating Ohio State right now, Columbus. You could be populating Columbus with lots and lots and lots of hot children if you let Lane Kiffin coach up there. Did you see that girl he's dating now? Oh my God!
Urban Meyer tried that and they ran him off.
You thought that little hottie that Ed Orgeron was fooling around with was hot, or better yet, the one that Urban Meyer had his hands all the way down her pants into her pussy hole?
No, for me, it's the coffee bone. It's the Bones Coffee Lady or nothing.
Yeah,
really?
You're taking a shine to the brunettes these days. I see.
No, just her.
Okay,
just her. She's
just her.
Yeah, I seen her in an insurance commercial the other day on a regular TV channel.
And you paused it and jerked it, right?
I mean, there was people in the room.
Well, I mean, you can take that in the other room.
I'm still saying the redhead from Mad Men is the hottest woman that's ever been on television.
Man, I don't know why her name is escaping me. It's like it's
Christina something, right?
Christina. Oh God, it's going to come to me again.
What about Alex? If you're listening, what's the name of the redheaded woman on Mad Men? The one that's very well stacked.
Yeah, ask Alexa about that Christina. Oh God, what is her last name? That's going to fuck with
Hendrickson. Hendrickson.
Yeah,
not Hendrickson, but Henriksen. I think it's Christina Henriksen.
Christina Hendrickson.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a spicy little thing.
Oh, it's special.
Yeah.
That's what Naomi Judd looked like when I was 14 years old, guys. She sang in our church, and she was wearing a green velvet suit, and she had that real pale skin, that bright red hair, and she sang at the church, and that 14 years old I thought was the hottest human being that I ever saw in my life. I'm telling you, Naomi Judd was hot. You talking about Naomi, right? Yeah, I'm talking about the mother, right?
Oh, so the mother. That's the mother was Winona.
No, Winona's the daughter and Naomi's the mother.
No, it's the other way around.
They're from my hometown, man.
Winona is the mother and Naomi's the daughter.
No, Winona's the daughter.
Oh my God, with you.
Anyway, so she sang at church. I'm telling you guys, she was incredibly hot beyond belief. I can't describe to you what she did to my 14-year-old psyche, right? And everything else. I couldn't stand up. Yeah, there would have been a big problem if I had stood up in church for any reason. So, And I'll just never forget that red velvet one-piece dress thing she was wearing, and the bright red hair and the real pale skin and the incredible figure. I was just beyond belief, man. I just can't impress me enough how hot this woman was. Right?
We lost Doug.
Oh,
that's not a good thing.
Well, he was on brunettes, and I went to redheads. He's probably mad at me, you know. He ain't mad.
Yeah, I married a redhead. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me.
My mother was a redhead.
Mine was too. And that's why, because I should have known better. True story.
Oh yeah, I can't come on nothing but love and joy from my mother here on the podcast, as you know. And you know what I'm saying? She was very special, but not like Jerry's kid special, though, Shannon.
No, yeah, this is Alabama. So yeah, be careful about that kind of conversation.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I wonder where Doug went. I wonder if we're still on the air.
I don't know. Now I'm into the chat via YouTube. I'd figured out how to do that while we were talking about Jayden Daniels Heisman, and I don't know if Alex is still on here. No, we got a private chat. You want me to hear? We got a private chat too. Wow, let me see.
I want a private chat. It's just me and you. Just me and you in the private chat.
See if we got it right now.
There's
is that Doug coming back?
Hi, Doug.
I mean, I don't know where I went. I mean, I came back and y'all were all fucking gone.
No, we were here. You were gone.
Somebody was gone.
Well, I'm just glad we were able to work through this thing together.
So, I mean, we've talked all the football for this week, so.
I mean, anybody want to talk about these great fucking bowl games that are coming up?
No. No, because this is the time of year when we have to start talking some fucking basketball.
That's right.
I love that.
The Batman.
Do that one more time. Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, that had drama like Batman.
That's a good one right there.
Okay, so let's practice on another commercial break, and we'll come back with some Dr. Balls.
Oh.
You are now streaming Smacking Off the podcast. You can keep up with our current activity on Facebook at Smacking Off or Smackologists. Find us on YouTube at Smacking Off the podcast. And stay right where you are. More Smacking Off the podcast is headed your way.
Hey, this is Kyle Golick of the Smacking Off the podcast. I'm at the Basketball Hall of Fame. You don't need to come to Springfield, Massachusetts. We got our own Hall of Fame analyst in Dr. Balls.
Dr. Balls is a presentation of Smacking Off the podcast.
Dr. Balls, the state of college hoops.
What's up?
So
freestyle for us, Dr. Balls.
Absolutely, do it.
You want to freestyle about the basketball thing? Sitting here, getting our whole news swing going to talk about.
That's a bit much. I'm sorry. I fucked that all up. Dr. Balls. We're and now you get to be front and center. This is basically your show now, so I get to do the easy part and sit here and drink coffee.
Yep.
I'm probably gonna go smoke some pot while you do this.
Oh jeez, good. I'll give you a joint. So
excellent. Pass the Dutchie.
Pass the Dutchie on the left.
Pass the Dutchie to the left.
And that's real popular on basketball players. It's part of the basketball culture is to smoke marijuana, believe it or not. Now, back in the day, if you were Jack Givens in Kentucky, they would run you off for smoking dope, even though you were the player of the year and the most important player. What is it, the MOP in the NCAA tournament? So he had to lay out of the NBA for a year until he was old enough since Kentucky ran him off for smoking dope. So
when are they going to eventually, because it's still a state by state thing where it's legal in certain states to do it, but it's still forbidden for the players to do it in that it doesn't matter what state they're in because, when is that going to be an all across the board thing? Because that has to be a selling point for some of those teams. And I'm just saying, for some of those teams in those states that let you do that sort of thing.
Now, if I was running for election like Trump, I'd say that I was going to make it legal nationwide tomorrow. As soon as I got elected, I'd tell him I'd do it on the next day after I was inaugurated, and that'd be a big boost in these votes. And for the first time in my life, I got a real job without having to take a drug test because the company I work for is out of New York where it's legal. Mm-hmm. So I was able to take a drug test that didn't test for pot. I don't know how to act, Shannon. I mean, when I went here, what do
you can actually get a job in Amazon. Doesn't matter what state you're in, and if you show up positive for the marijuana, even in a state that it's not legal in, they overlook it, or they don't even look for it. I guess
it's crazy, ain't it?
Well, I mean, it's a new day we live in.
New.
I'm of the opinion we need to legalize everything. I don't advocate some of the harder stuff for sure. Your heroines and your fentanyls and your things like that.
Yeah, but how about pig fucking? Should that be legal?
Pig fucking?
Yeah.
I mean, there needs to be consent, and as long as you can somehow secure consent from the pig.
A pig can't consent, can they?
Well, I don't. They got technology now. You can read a dog's dreams and shit. So I'm sure if you put some kind of special helmet on the pig and the pig just kind of, grunts a couple times and it translates out. Yeah, stick it here, big boy.
Can't you even do that without the helmet? You just do the grunts and say, yeah.
Or maybe have the pig sign an agreement with their hoof.
I guess.
Put your hoof right here. Sure looking fine there, Mr.
It sounds good to me.
So let's talk a little bit of basketball anyway. So right now, what's interesting about this season to start in the early season is the SEC was expected to have anywhere between 6 and 8 teams make the tournament. And they started out the season with 6 ranked teams, 5 in some polls, right? And since then, the SEC has fell on some hard times. Kentucky lost to Kansas and the University of North Carolina Western, who, to be honest with you, I've only vaguely heard of in my life, even though I'm only 120 miles from North Carolina. And they so right now, the SEC only has Kentucky, Tennessee, and Texas A&M ranked in the top 25, which is interesting because all the talent that's out there, I don't think it's going to end like that. Alabama's got a talented team. Auburn has a talented team, and others. And Tennessee was expected to win the conference, and they're at 4-3 out of conference. So they've fallen on hard times. But what that means is, here's our top 5. We got Arizona, who is 7-0. They're really good. They play some tough preseason competition, but not really impressed me. Then you got Kansas, who barely beat Kentucky, who's 7-1. They had 1 loss, but it was a solid loss. They are a strong team. They can win it again. They won it last year. Houston is 8-0. I think they're really good. I like Ralph Sampson. He's a health coach, but he's a criminal. But it's a new NCAA. You can pay players, so he might be there a while. Purdue is 7-1. They're putting all their hopes on Zach Edey, who's 7'1". But I don't believe they can run with teams like Baylor, Houston, Kansas, and Kentucky. If they get into a running game, no matter what they do in the Big Ten and how much hope you Big Ten fans have, right, Purdue is not going to win the Natty. They can't run with nobody. Zach Edey is slow. When Kentucky gets their 2 7-footers back that run 4, 5 40s and less, they're out there just going to smoke that guy. They're not going to play his post game. They're going to run up and down the court. His tongue's going to be hanging out, right? Marquette is a hell of a team. They've got 2 losses, but they're both good losses. North Carolina, we got to talk about Creighton, right? Creighton's got 1 loss. They had it was a tough. It's not going to hurt them come tournament time, but Creighton's a very talented team, and they've brought back 2 guys that are off the hook, right? North Carolina's talented. Florida Atlantic is ranked. Texas is pretty strong, and Oklahoma's also 7-0, but they haven't really played anybody. So both them teams are coming into the SEC. This is their swan song in the Big 12. So actually, SEC basketball has a bright future, adding Texas and Oklahoma to already tough conference. And then interesting teams to rank out the top 25. For some reason, Duke is still ranked another 5-3. I believe they're going to fall off after the recruiting of Krzyzewski dries out. I don't believe there's no real reason. There was no real tradition except for Mike Gaminsky before Krzyzewski, and there won't be one afterwards. And then Wisconsin is 6-2, but I don't think they played anybody. Clemson is 7-0. Shout out to Clemson, Dane. They're in a tough ACC. They haven't played anybody yet. And then you got San Diego State, which that's one of my sleepers for this season. And so those are the teams that interest me. And the ones I think might win the Natty are Kansas, Baylor, Houston, or Creighton. That's who I got in the Final Four.
Okay, so I just want to go ahead and point this out. And I haven't paid attention to Alabama. I know they've lost a few games. So Alabama's not looking that great. Alabama goes to Creighton this Saturday.
Oh,
It's
I know.
coming up Saturday.
Game. That's a big game. Actually, I'm excited about that. And we got to bring Divine on to talk about it, right? Because Alabama has been really smoking the last few years, and they've got some talent. They've signed all kinds of players, but it's so transitory right now. Just like NIL and college football, it affects college basketball even more, right? Like a Kentucky center come from VCU or come from another program. He was a senior. Now he's a graduate senior. You got an experienced guy. Why you get your 2 7-footers out? One for NCAA transfer rules and another one for personal reasons. So that's another thing. You got the transfer rules and the NIL. They could make a quick transfer, but now they're starting to deny a lot of them. But it's just a lot of players is changing teams real quick. And it's going to take time to get that together. And I believe that's the case of Alabama.
I have yet to watch an Alabama basketball game. I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat this. I'm an Alabama football fan. I do like Alabama basketball, but just have not got a chance to actually. I mean, I'm not religious when it comes to the basketball because
I watched Alabama Purdue.
I've been let down so many times watching Alabama basketball, and I remember I go all the way back to Wimp Sanderson. And my dad goes all the way back to CM Newton.
CM Newton, a lot of people forget about him, who later on became the athletic director at UK and the commissioner of the SEC. He was all.
I watched a documentary on this, and I don't know if you've ever seen this, and I'm thinking it was 1976 when Indiana went undefeated and won the national championship in basketball.
Yeah.
Bob Knight on this documentary. Indiana beat Alabama, but there was a really bad fucking call in the game. And this whole thing was the fact that Alabama probably would have won the national championship if this wouldn't have happened. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. I mean, this is before I was ever paying attention to anything, but it was a really good documentary. I suggest anybody that can find it, watch it. It was about the 1976 Indiana Hoosiers, and they did win the national championship, but they had the one section in there where they said Alabama got robbed. And this was a team that went undefeated, but they were saying that they wouldn't have went undefeated if this call wouldn't have went a certain way.
Now, I've heard that in the lore, but I didn't see the documentary, but I've heard that in the lore of SEC basketball my life. When they and CM Newton's a very popular figure in Lexington, by the way.
But I will say this, and CM Newton was the head coach of Alabama at the time. Alabama could have beat Indiana that day. They would have still fucked it up. I promise you. I swear to God, they would have.
Well, let's talk about Alabama's 3 losses. Alabama's 3 losses are to Purdue on Saturday. They was in Toronto, and it was a close game, 92-86, right? And then they lost to Ohio State, which is a solid team, and to Clinton, number 24, Clemson. So it's a brand new roster, and I felt that they were getting it together in the Purdue game. I thought they was going to win it, and they only figured out they needed to run and gun them at the end. But I think Alabama's getting better game by game, and by the time the SEC tournament runs around, they'll make a run.
Has Alabama committed any felonies yet at this point in the game?
Not yet, but it's pretty early in the season.
Okay. So I got good hopes for them, and I also got hope for Auburn, right? Because when you have a good coach, just like Nick Saban was able to turn around. The team this year, and Alabama was strong in it. I feel the same thing will happen for Auburn and Alabama.
Bruce Pearl was out there baptizing them kids too, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he's Jewish. He don't even believe in.
Yeah, he's a Jewish
kind of thing.
Yeah,
He doesn't. He don't even believe in that kind of thing. But
Well,
whatever.
maybe he does now. Maybe he's converted.
No, it's whatever will pull the team together.
Wouldn't that be a thing? Because you never really hear about Jews
No,
converting
this is
to
this is the
Christianity.
Bible Belt, Shannon. He knows whatever will pull the team together is what he's got to do, and baptism was on it's what he needed.
Yeah, right? Jewish folks don't normally convert to Christianity for some reason or another.
Well, there's a show called Jews for Jesus that I happen to love. It's the only evangelical show that I like. And there's a guy, a rabbi.
I used to go to one of those churches, one of the Messianic Jewish churches back when I was younger. And they're pretty cool. Yeah.
Hell yeah. And
there's some coolness to the whole thing, unlike the
well, they do a lot of the old music, so the music is not your normal stodgy.
You mean like harp? You mean
bringing
harps?
in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves. We will come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves. Yeah, you don't. There ain't none of that. They have like tambourines and they get up and dance and shit. It's almost Pentecostal, but not near as violent.
How about harps? No harps.
I didn't see any.
You know what they need? Jews harps.
They didn't have those either. That's something else.
Did they have sack butts?
No.
Yeah.
Did they have a sack butt?
A what?
A sack butt. That's what David played before he got into it with Goliath. It's an old Jewish instrument called a sack butt.
Was it mentioned?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Was it mentioned in the song Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen?
That's a good song.
Mm.
Jeff Buckley did the best version of it, I think.
There is a hillbilly. What's that now?
Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen.
No, the village people never touched that song, Bob.
No, that was actually no, I don't know. It was probably written during their time. I mean, they could have covered it, but
you're talking about the Cohen, the show tunes guy, Cohen from
Leonard Cohen, the guy, yeah.
Because there was a team of writers, somebody in Cohen in the 1920s or 30s that wrote show tunes. That's why I had to ask that, right?
No, it's a different Jewish fellow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, we're throwing out racial slurs and innuendos here, man. We're
not being racist. I love Jewish people. Jewish people, man, they make great movies and music.
Yep.
Mel Brooks is one of my favorite people, man. I'd love to be.
He really is.
A lot of people say they're in control of the banking system.
I wish they kept me with that.
It's usually white guys. No. Louis Farrakhan, he says that pretty often too. Louis Farrakhan does not like Jewish people for some reason.
Well, no, he didn't like them. Now I went to a big event his in Indianapolis at the Lucas Oil Center with two of my friends.
You showed up to a Farrakhan?
You went to a Farrakhan? No, whoa. First off, how high were you that night? Like, I mean, seriously.
Well, no, it's a true story. What happened is that everybody I lived with, and we 5 guys went together and rented this gigantic house on 36th and Kenwood in Indy, and then we was growing dope in it, right? Because they had a huge basement, and everybody was African American but me, right? But 2 of them wanted to go see Louis Farrakhan, and somebody on the street gave us tickets. So we was outside like tending our tomatoes and stuff and gardening around the yard doing permaculture. We was actually doing permaculture in the neighborhood. So this guy comes up to me, and my 2 of my buddies were doing permaculture, like we're planting like vegetables every crack in the sidewalk, on and on kind of thing, right? And this guy comes up and he has these tickets. He goes, y'all want to see Louis Farrakhan? I said, I'm going. Let's see Louis Farrakhan. And the other 2 dudes looked at me like I was crazy. They go, if you're going to see Louis Farrakhan, we're going to see Louis Farrakhan. So me and Travis.
Yeah, you probably actually did a good thing by going with them, because if you just showed up solo to that one, it probably wouldn't have turned out as enjoyable for you.
Oh, no, when he said Kill Wiley, I was like, right on, man. You know what I'm saying? I was just want to see, And I did have people talk to me that were respectful as I was leaving. Right? Nobody had coming in. People were looking at me strange. I was with these 2 young college professors that happened to be black guys, and that was bringing joy and agriculture to the hood. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, and they're my good friends, Travis and Yuri. But anyway, so we went together, and as I was leaving, people was having respectful conversations about how I felt, what was going on. And I said, well, I just believe love for the fellow man's the way to go. I said, if you think the situation is desperate enough to include violence, I don't know if it's going to go your way. That's exactly what I said. And then I walked out of there, man. He said, we better get moving after you told that old dude this. Because they're by any means necessary, I believe, is their motto. Yeah, he broke it all down. But here's what I did love about it, and I did learn things, right? And I heard about this from some people that had been to prison with my son that I had met later. But this is what he said that I did believe in and that I did respect, is that grown man has got to stand up and they got to take care of their family and deal with their situation and deal with
Mhm.
that, right?
Yeah.
They got to take total responsibility and be there, right, and handle their business and make men out of men. And so,
Yeah, and you can say whatever. Well, you can say whatever you want to about the Nation of Islam, but that is a core tenet of what they have going on as far as
Yes.
reestablishing the role of men in the families, and I think that's a good thing.
Bob,
yeah,
did you say business?
Business.
yes,
Yeah.
I did say
Well,
business.
he was hanging out with Farrakhan's people, man. When in Rome.
Oh yeah, this dude
All right.
I was talking to had robes on and like a little fancy hat and stuff, and he was like 5 inches taller than me, and I'm pretty tall. You know what I'm saying? And he had like guys hanging out with him with sunglasses and stuff when he asked me how I really felt. So I had to be honest with him. I felt that if I was disingenuous, that it was more dangerous for me than telling him the truth. And the truth is I have love for my fellow man. I hope we all get together, which I told him that. And secondly, if they did feel like they needed the path to violence, it wasn't going to work out for them. That's what I
Yeah.
All right, one more break.
Oh,
Let's do
hi.
it.
I'm Clinton Bain, and this is Smacking Off the Podcast.
It's like cocaine or something. I don't know. These motherfuckers just talk about college sports, specifically college football, and man, let me tell you, it's a hoot.
You are now streaming Smacking Off the Podcast. You can keep up with our current activity on Facebook at Smacking Off or Smackologists. Find us on YouTube at Smacking Off the Podcast. And stay right where you are. More Smacking Off the Podcast is headed your way.
Okay, we didn't pay a single fucking bill just now.
We didn't pay any bills at all.
No bill.
That was all purely for our enjoyment. That and for us to watch Dane snorting those headache powders. Goodies.
That's
Good.
what it
Was
was.
goody. I'm sure he said goody after he cut the camera off.
Now, do you ever see the right stuff, Shannon?
Yeah, it's been a while.
So he give him a stick of Beemans. He had to have a stick of Beemans before he left, and they done a goodies powder, right?
Demons?
Yeah. So he done a goodies powder before he got down.
That's where Beeman's family got all that money from.
Yes, that's what I was wondering. So he gave him a stick of
Beeman
Beeman gum, and then he closed the hatch, and it didn't close right. So he stuck his water gum in the handle for the door to make sure it stayed right, and put a stick of wood in it.
Yeah.
And so Beeman has some kind of connection to the right stuff, which in my opinion is one of the
So
best
that
stuff.
man went into space like that, in pretty much just this old tin can with the door propped open with a piece of, or propped shut with a piece of wood. And you mean to tell me that wasn't filmed in a Hollywood basement?
No, he didn't go to space. He broke the sound barrier in the X-1 rocket plane. It was dropped from the belly of a B-29, and what he had to go through the bomb bay of the B-29 and climb down into it. And that's when he discovered the hatch wasn't going to close right on it.
Yeah.
And everybody else that had tried to go supersonic at that point had their aircraft had disintegrated. You know what I'm saying? But this was Chuck Yeager's. He had balls like grapefruit, obviously.
I mean, I wonder how many people have like walked up to Buzz Aldrin and looked at him in his face and
Just kidding, guys.
Buzz Aldrin jacked a guy in the mouth, didn't he, Shannon? Over walking up to him saying he didn't go to the moon. I thought I seen a YouTube video of him and that he co-cocked the motherfucker.
I think I heard about that, but there's a video of that. Oh, I've got to see that.
Yeah,
I love shit like that. I love watching people get popped in the mouth for being stupid.
Yeah.
One of my favorite videos lately was that the guy that was fucking with Mike Tyson on the plane and then wound up throwing a water bottle at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then now he's suing Mike Tyson for $750,000.
I don't think Tyson's got the money to pay that these days, but he does make good money.
Oh no, Doug. Oh no. Now,
he was in the IP Man movie.
Mike Tyson has done very well with his weed sales. Not only not just the weed, but all of the various accoutrements, and now he is selling blunts, and those things are flying off the shelves. Mike Tyson's probably is making more money now than he was boxing. Maybe not.
Come on.
Well, maybe. Well,
man, he used to make. He made like $40 million in a boxing match one time.
Yeah, and Don King got half of it, and his agent got another 10% of it.
You're right. You're right about that.
All those hanger-ons got some, and then he bought a tiger, and then the next thing you know, he's got like $30 left.
He had more than that left. But you're right.
Mike's better with his money these days.
And he's definitely using his star power, and people love to listen to
And
Mike
plus,
Tyson.
he doesn't have to pay for weed anymore.
That's good. That's
I mean, he just grows his own now. He just goes out there and grabs a handful of it.
Damn it, Jim.
Yeah, and apparently it's some pretty good stuff.
Bob, have you been watching Star Trek?
The new Star Trek? Or
There's
Star
a
Trek?
new
I mean, damn it, Jim, does that come from Star Trek?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a Star Trek. The original Star Trek and Next Generation.
Damn it, Jim, I'm not a doctor. No, wait a minute. Damn it, Jim, I'm not a paleontologist. I'm just a doctor.
But the one you've been quoting more than that is the Love Boat.
Oh, the Love Boat. Well, that's my daughter, man. It's my daughter. What happened was my daughter became lost, and we searched the farm for her. And when we found her, there was a bunch of pit bulls. All my pit bulls were around her. She had party hats on them, and she had little like plates and teacups and stuff. So she was having a tea party for all the dogs.
How old was she at the time?
Like 5-ish, and she was singing the song, the Love Boat song, to the dogs. Right when I walked up, that's how I found her.
Dude, I wish you had some footage of that. That's pretty funny.
How long ago was this?
Probably like 25 years ago.
Pit bulls eat children. You were playing with fire there.
I'll tell you what, that was the safest human being in the world. If someone had put their hand on my daughter at that moment with them 5 dogs around her, that
because they were in the middle of a party and with nobody interrupting that party.
Exactly.
I love that party.
They were in fancy love with my daughter. She could ride them. She could steer them by the ears. Like if she fell asleep on the couch, want to be in front of her, want to be on her, want to be behind her, want to be on the floor, want to be by the door, make it short. I mean, they were in fancy love with this girl.
See, my luck, all 4 of them would have her stretching all 4 directions, and I'd have to talk to the authorities and plan.
Well, Bob, you keep quoting something from the Love Boat. You've done it for the last few episodes, and I'm trying to remember what it is you're saying.
Something about it being exciting and new.
Yes.
Right, because that's what they say. On the Love Boat, they say love is exciting and new. Won't you come aboard? We're expecting you.
Okay, so I went with your
one of the better themes of TV shows from the 70s.
I went with your whole plan the other night, Bob, and we were we were eating, and we always watch something when we're eating, and I put the Love Boat on, and it didn't go that well.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, the whole fucking family turned on me. And I'm like, this is good shit. But it wasn't a good Love Boat. It really wasn't. There was some woman singing the theme song.
That wasn't the original then.
No, it's like 1988. Man, I didn't even know it went that fucking far, man. It was like 1988 Love Boat.
You have to do like 79 or 80. Mel Torme sang the original song,
Really?
Yeah.
I know Mel was on the show quite a bit. So that's probably why.
Oh, didn't Mel Torme call Ozzy an ugly, nasty cunt?
Call who?
Ozzy Osbourne. So I registered hip trader when I was living in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Like my junior year of high school.
He called Ozzy a
ugly,
nasty cunt.
Yeah.
You sure he wasn't talking about Sharon?
I don't know.
Sharon's not really ugly. I mean, she did gain some weight there for a minute, but she's dropped it.
Oh, well, I never really thought of her because of her actions, right? And the way she treats other people. I just felt that, that
she's a horrible person. She loves her husband dearly, and she's probably great to her kids. But she's a horrible person.
Am I the only one who feels terrible for Ozzy? Have y'all listened to Ozzy? He keeps saying he's going to play another show, and if you watch him walking around, there's no way he's playing another show.
Well, he needs to do the same thing that Phil Collins did for his last show, just sit his ass down. I would pay money to see Ozzy. If I knew it was going to be Ozzy's last time on stage ever, I would pay crazy money to see him sit in the chair and sing changes.
Didn't he play the NFC Championship game?
Did he?
There's some video of him playing a Rams game. No, it couldn't be the Rams. Maybe it was a playoff game, but it had Zach Wild and it had Trujillo, who's now in Metallica, player, and had Rob Portnoy as the drummer.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean,
that's quite a lineup.
Oh yeah, they wasn't in like drop D. They was in like drop so low that I couldn't even define it. Right, so
it was like drop G.
Yeah, it was deep, man.
Drop H.
Yeah, it was heavy, man. So but he done pretty good. But he was in one place. He was kind of like a rabbit, and the headlights kind of thorn. He was just holding on, and he had like the big gown from like the '86 tour, like what was that, Ultimate Sin, when this Jackie Lee was still.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, we think about basketball. I don't know why this come to my mind, but did you know Barack Obama said he played a lot of pickup games, that he played a little bit of college ball, and he and I are about the same age. So one of my dreams and
Who did he
fantasies,
play with? He's a Harvard guy.
One of your dreams is to go 1-on-1 with Barack Obama?
either that or him bring his squad and I'll bring my squad, right? And I mean, of course, now he's got.
Now that'd be kind of like Prince and Charlie Murphy, wouldn't it?
Oh, it'd be special like that if we could have it with like Prince and what? Not Christopher. It was Chappelle, right? When Dave Chappelle had his skit about playing Prince and basketball. I believe
we lost your audio, but Bob.
I didn't. I didn't. I never lost it.
Doug,
I never lost it.
But I'd like to throw out a challenge to President Obama.
Audio.
We could do 1-on-1. We could do 21. We could do it however he likes it. He and I are about the same size. We're about the same age. We're about the same level of basketball experience, according to him. And of course, I've done a lot more street ball than him because for the last, for a long time he couldn't really go out in public and play street ball. So I was still playing street ball in my 40s. But so I'd love to roll with President Obama. I got no disrespect for him, but I just don't think he's that good. I think I smoke his ass.
All right, y'all heard it all right here on Dr. Balls. Shannon can't hear us anymore, so let's.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you, but you can't hear us.
If you can hear me, Bob.
I can hear you,
Doug.
I can hear you.
Okay, I can't hear y'all for some reason or another.
Okay,
back out and come back in.
We're fixing to leave anyway.
StreamYard.
We're leaving.
Oh yeah, it's about done. We got a preview. We could talk about stuff.
Thank you for supporting Smacking Off the podcast on the X's and O's network. Be sure to keep up with our scheduled live casts and other presentations on Facebook at Smackologists or at Smacking Off, and on our YouTube channel at Smacking Off the Podcast.